Alrighty, guys. Welcome everybody back to the Epic Minds podcast. We're all drinking beer, except for Josue.
The one and only Josue in the house.
We got Josue.
What up?
We got Edgar.
Yeah, just got a new phone today, baby. Whoop.
We got David.
What's up, man?
Edgar really just said he got a new phone.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this for like 2 years. And finally I did it.
Dude, you just got a phone. You just had a phone like fucking last weekend. I saw you.
But that was the phone that I had.
That was my mom's.
That was my mom's phone, alright? But this one came out of my pocket on hot sweat. You know.
Okay.
I just had to use my mom's bank account to do a little payment process, but other than that, everything. I feel proud. I got the phone that I wanted.
All right. Cool. All right. All right, guys. So what's new? It's been a week since we last did a podcast where we went completely off subject like 15 times.
That's what happens, bro.
What happens when you have like 30
fucking-
people here?
When we put Lenny on and he starts one conspiracy theory and then it evolves into a 2 conspiracy theory, then 3.
It's a
The
connect.
third world
And then-
country conspiracy.
And yeah.
Talking about conspiracy, fucking Turkey, man. What's up with that shit? You know they don't call it the martial law. They call it coup or cope.
Because it's not a martial law.
It's a martial law.
It's not a
It's-
dude. It's the military
they
trying to
impose-
overthrow the government.
It's a martial law, man. Imposed martial law. What is that?
So what you're trying to say is that when like George Washington and all them overthrew the Britain government, that was a martial law. That's not martial law, dude.
Military,
That's
see that's right there. Military wants to take. Well, now according to the fucking news, everything's already calming down and shit. But the fucking military is the fucking one that fucking controls the fucking, you know, everything. Like they want everybody to be indoors. That's what they want. That's martial law. Think about it. Military, streets, everybody indoors. Curfew. That's martial law.
Yeah, dude. But how do you know that was what they were trying to impose over there?
That's what it was. I read it. Well, I read this article in ABC News. That's what I read. That they're fucking imposing that fucking the Turkey, the military, you know, fucking wanted everybody outside the street. Everybody wants everybody inside for some fucking you know.
The coup was imposing the martial law. When the coup, the military people, that coup hit the street, they were imposing the martial law.
Okay, because what I don't know if I read the wrong shit now then. Because what I read, it was the military people were just trying to get rid of the corrupt government. That's what I read.
Yeah, it's still an investigation right now. That's why you're getting like a lot of different.
I read they shot down a helicopter though. Like
Yeah.
shit.
They
They
shot down a
arrested like
helicopter?
5 generals.
Yeah. And then the president ran like a little bitch.
I think that's what my
What's what-
brother was getting to. Like that's where the conspiracy comes in because apparently the president Edgar Rodon, kind of hard to say. He knew he had enough time to get out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, plenty of fucking
He
time.
they were having a conversation with Barack Obama and shit.
Well, you know what's funny though, and it's something that fucking they put on Facebook. They fucking Kerry, the fucking Secretary of State or some shit like that, went to Russia without any consent of the United States. Now this is like a day before this shit happened with Turkey and shit. So I don't know, man. I started thinking about, okay, look what happened in fucking France, in Italy, right? In France. That fucking crazy motherfucker that ran over these people, including kids, man. Fucking, well, I know God, I believe in God. I'm a big believer in God, and God says, you know, you shouldn't condemn whatever, but, like, God forgive me for saying this, but I hope that motherfucker burns in hell alive, you know what I mean? But anywho, that shit happened, what, not even like 2 days, like 2 days before this shit happened with Turkey. And then, like, a week before the fucking killings here in fucking United States. Like, what the fuck? So now fucking the United States and Russia are actually looking into partnership to fucking attack ISIS, right? So there's a lot of shit going on. But going back to Turkey, it's like, it's not the first time this happened. It's been happening for fucking, 50 years.
Yeah.
That they've been, you know, trying to, you know, overthrow, well, the fucking military is trying to fucking, you know, control the people and, you know,
Like another
try to
Hitler
put
type
it
shit.
fucking martial law and shit.
That's what they're trying to. I feel like
So it's to me. I don't know. I just feel like Turkey's been going through this shit for years, but I mean, if there's a conspiracy when it comes down to fucking putting martial law here, I think they're just trying to start something to make that shit happen. Look at what's going on with the cops, and look what's going on with the fucking protesters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, but
Because if the people overthrow the cops, well, who else are gonna fucking have? Well, the fucking military's gonna have to fucking step in.
Actually, the coup military was, because there's two militaries going on, the coup military and the government military. The coup military were actually getting in firefights with the cops. It's crazy. A lot of when people think about, you see Moreno Valley policemen getting shootout with
Fucking
military, U.S. military person, like people and shit. That's the kind of shit that they were witnessing in the streets. And the military coup was the one who was implementing the martial law, which was not an official martial law, but it was. They were telling everybody that they were in martial law to go in, that they were taking over the government. So it was unofficial, but yeah, it was happening. People were being put in martial law. I mean, you have those people who are like, well, shit, they don't know how big the situation is. So some people were doing it. It wasn't until the president, from wherever he was, told the people, that you guys have to take it out to the streets. That it was not an official martial law, and it was really a coup going on and shit, and terrorist type of event. That's when the people actually started going on the streets and fucking jumping these soldiers and stuff like that. The question is, who did it? Who was responsible for it?
I mean, if you really think about it, how does their own government put them through that? It's like, for instance, you said, you could see, it's like, for instance, like you said, it's just picture, the Moreno Valley cops getting in with the military, as a people, how are we supposed to look at it, that shit that throws us really off, It really throws us off, and it's a trip,
It has to, I don't know, it has to do with the commanders and everybody that runs the fucking world. Well, a lot of people call it conspiracy, but it's fucking common sense that when shit happens, it's common sense. People know the fucking truth. It's the fucking government that fucking hides it. And a lot of people will call it a theory, but dude, we're not fucking stupid. We have a brain. We have the capability of capturing something and giving the answer. That's the capability, But
I think kind of goes back to that conversation. I don't think anything is gonna get better. From here on. I don't think nothing's gonna get better because
it's like New World Order started fucking as soon as the next president fucking comes into play, that's when the new world order is gonna start, and it's fucking true. It's a fact.
Well, let me put in my input on it. I'm gonna put it as a whole. That way I don't just throw it by pieces. I think this has. Some people think it's irrelevant. I think it is relevant. I think this has to do a lot with history. It goes back to history because a lot of people don't know Turkey was the capital of the Ottoman Empire. And the Ottoman Empire was a big power back in the day. They ruled for hundreds of years and shit. Today's the 16th, right?
Yeah.
Today's the anniversary. Today, of this date of this month, in 1212. It was a battle between the Christians and the Muslims. It was a big battle. Templars, you have the Ottoman Empire, Turks and stuff like that. I don't know if they were trying to pull that off at an anniversary and shit, trying to take over, bring back the Ottoman Empire because there's three groups here. There's the AKP government, which is supposed to be the government, and then you have the Gulen, which are kind of they're kind of peaceful. Muslim type of Islamic type of way of thinking, old Ottoman type of thing, and then you have the Kurdish, which are more of to modernize, Turkey. So two different groups. All three groups don't get along. They don't really get along, and that's why, like my brother said, that's the first time they do it. This is the fourth time they tried it, but this was the only time that they actually had ammunition thrown out like that. If you guys see the video, this fucking chopper just spraying the fucking street. It's fucking crazy shit, just spraying out on the police and the crowd and shit. That's the first time it happened. But to know who exactly it is kind of hard because a lot of people think that the government, the president Edgaron, actually staged it and shit, just to get more power and shit, you know. Wanting to make the Gulens and shit look like the bad guys and shit and whatnot. So, you know, like I think this shit goes back. It's a deeper thing. I think this is like, I think the whole mentality que ellos tienen, like, you know, like, oh, we used to be the Ottoman Empire. What the hell happened to us and shit? You know, why do we take orders from these outside governments and shit? Like, we should be up there with the United States. We should be up there with Britain. You know, I think that mentality still lingers in Turkey.
But look now look what happened to Britain, man. They're leaving Europe.
But and that's maybe a reason why they did it. You know, when you have like a big superpower leaving the UN, that's one less person to have to worry about. You know, and it's like a big brother stepping out. But the younger one can do whatever he wants and shit. You know.
I remember someone telling me about fucking that the Constitution, it's not there no more. I don't know who was it. So I seen this shit and seen this thing that Fox News posted, or I don't know what it was, but he was talking about how there's no Constitution no more.
In the United States?
In the United States, it doesn't exist no more. I mean, I get it. I mean, you know, fucking our fucking forefathers fucking did what they had to do. There's a Constitution, but now these days people are thinking about the future, meaning that what the Constitution doesn't fucking exist no more. They're gonna recreate the Constitution, kick the old shit out, and bring the new shit in, which is what New World Order. You know, it's happening. You know what I mean? It's happening because you know they wanna revolutionize the way fucking things are. I heard that Canada, United States, and Mexico are gonna fucking be one currency. And it looks like it's gonna fucking happen. It looks like it's gonna happen in the fucking future. It's part of fucking evolving. That's pretty much what it was. You know what I mean?
Bluetooth disconnected.
So it's like, I get what they're doing, but at the same time they don't give a shit about the people. They don't. They don't fucking give a shit about the people. And they think they do give a shit about the people, but I think that what they're focusing on is giving a shit about their country. And right now, every country right now is fucking wants to fucking gain that power. You know what I mean?
I get you, bro. I think officially it's still here, but I think unofficially, I think it's not here because I know you're not here for the last talk that we were having, but when I mentioned Agenda 21, it was something that was held, and it was a United Nation type of meeting, and it was it was voluntarily, you know what I'm saying, at the time, you know, and whoever volunteered for it was, you know, just volunteered, but it was held, you know, like, I know, I told the people out there, it was like in the late 80s, it was actually in the early 90s, when I looked it up, it was in 92, they held it in Brazil,
Bluetooth connected.
In Agenda 21, there's a lot of rules, there's like a lot of rules that the United States agreed upon. And you know what I'm saying? And like when they agreed upon that, bro, because it was voluntarily, they weren't forced to do it, especially the United States being one of the biggest governments.
Yeah.
They volunteered for it, and a lot of that goes against the Constitution. So why they would do that when they knew their Constitution, you know, would stop it? You know, that you already take into a conspiracy, but you know, it kind of goes back to that. You know, like everybody's on this agenda. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to be on this agenda. So yeah, I do believe that this one world order is happening, and it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? But to kind of go into Turkey, like, I think, my opinion, I think it's that old mentality still lingering around in Turkey, and I think it has to do with that. I mean, obviously, we know that the coup was part of official governments, and the government, from the intelligence group and from the military group.
And what the fucking you said that the United States fucking didn't know nothing about it and they're looking into it. That's fucking bullshit. The United States fucking know everything.
That's why they think that
they know every fucking thing. The CIA's in there. The fucking, you know, the United States know. Why the fuck would they fucking pop out that, oh, the White House looking into it? You guys are fucking bullshit, man.
Well, let me tell you what the conspiracy is. The conspiracy is that the United States knew about the coup. The CIA knew about the coup. The CIA was monitoring the problem in Turkey. You have the AKP government, which is supposed to be the official government, and then you have two different groups outside, the Gulen and the Kurdish. Now they knew that the Kurdish and the Gulens had somewhat of like the same goal, but still different mentality. So what they were kind of afraid of is that Turkey was going to be turned into more of an old Islamic type of Ottoman Empire type of mentality. So somebody leaked out the information that there was going to be a coup, and that's why the coup came out, but it was sloppy. That's why they didn't succeed with it, because the CIA, leaked it out to the official AKP government, because the president had, the president was gone like right off the bat and shit. That fool was like, he got out in time. Somebody flagged him. That's why he wasn't there and shit. Like, I think who said that he ran like a bitch. He literally was out and shit. Who knew that? Why? And to him have an open conversation, like an open line with Obama, it was more like the United States stepping in to make sure that that transaction doesn't happen. The transaction of power. So that's the conspiracy that the CIA knew was gonna happen, and the CIA leaked the information of the Gulens and the Kurdish, either by them working together or one fooling the other one to overthrow the government.
Y'all ain't gonna go eat?
And that's why...
You guys aren't gonna go eat? Go eat.
That's why it came out sloppy. And that's why they didn't succeed. But it was planned. For sure they know that it was planned. They're just trying to figure out who it was.
Well, your daddy already ate. Sonny, eat, Dad.
I think it just goes back to history,
I mean, it's to me, I just feel like it's the fucking CIA knew it from the fucking get-go. They got people in there. Come on, let's not act stupid. Let's not, us people as the United States know. I mean, sure, there's fucking movies. Someone's trying to fucking say something about those movies. You know what I mean? The CIA is in every fucking government. There's a CIA fucking what you call it? Fucking I'll call it a halcón, a fucking hawk, un halcón. That's what I call it.
like a bird hawk?
A fucking bird hawk. And every fucking government is a fucking bird hawk. They scoping out and they hear. They hear and they scope out. There's always someone connected to the fucking government. Because they know the fucking CIA's on fucking top of this shit. There's fucking people tapping the fucking phone. There's fucking satellites. There's fucking drones. Come on. And there's fucking I don't know if you guys noticed, but when you go down to 215 on the 60, it says flight radar. Watch your speed. If they have that shit, what makes you think they don't fucking have shit? Fucking people. The FBI were fucking. They were flying over Escobar's fucking compound, fucking hearing their shit
for a long time.
So you meant to tell me that the fucking White House and no fucking CIA knew from the beginning. Fucking
they knew it was. You
can't beat the fucking CIA. You can't fucking beat the CIA. And I give them props for fucking being the shit that they are. I mean, they're fucking badass. You know what I mean? The fucking, and they're always gonna be fucking badass. They're always gonna have the power, and that's the CIA. They have everything.
And
then for the fucking United States to come out to say, oh, well, fucking United States is looking into bullshit. Fuck you guys. You guys could fucking fool the ones that fucking don't know, but you can't. I mean, it's common sense, man. But
you know what's crazy, Kanan? That the CIA, you gotta, like you said, bro, you have to give them props and shit. They're like badass fucking agents and shit, I mean, when we talk about the Cold War, they were beginners and shit. And they started doing their job, but by this time they should already be like fucking top notch super agents type of shit. And if you think about it,
bro, this shit goes way back, even way back to fucking Cold War.
Think about.
Okay, so remember the book. I don't know if you guys remember the book, The Secrets of the CIA.
Yeah, I remember that book.
The Secrets of the CIA. It fucking talks a lot.
I just think I think the United States is very desperate because we're already coming to a time where
everything's falling apart.
Either everything comes
together,
everything put together, or everything just falls apart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why Brexit happened, because they know the plan. They know the plans of the governments and shit like that, and they probably just didn't agree with it, and they got out whenever they did. So now they're their own people and shit. They're their own. They're their own people and shit. You know what I mean?
I just feel like, Honestly, I like the government. I hate the government. I like the government. I like the government because I would love to feel peace at times. You know, like the government is the reason why we have peace. But then we have those corrupt government that are fucking being greedy. I mean, how do you let some shit like that go down? Like, what makes you think like if the military has control? Military is the strongest shit that the government has. That's their fucking backbone. If they go against them, like how do you think us people are supposed to feel? You know? Like I honestly, if I was in Turkey, I would not feel safe whether cops or fucking shit like that. I don't know how people could live like that, you know. And for Barack Obama to sit back and like know what's going on, I'm pretty sure he knows what's going on.
Dude, but it's like this, dude. Each government has to think about their own people and shit.
Yeah, but they don't. None of them think about their people. Not even our own government, and we're like the most fucking freedom of country.
You gotta like, as a general idea.
Okay.
Like say you're the president. Are you gonna give a fuck about a country that's doing whatever they're doing? You're only gonna care if it's somehow, some way
affecting you. Yeah.
So if Turkey's trying to, go through a civil war and shit, if it's not affecting you, you're not gonna give two fucks about it.
Well, but why is Obama speaking up though? Like,
because Turkey has oil, buddy. They have money.
Okay, so it's affecting us in a way, though, right?
It's affecting.
But it could also affect us with the mentality.
That's like the whole
Islamic mentality.
That's like corrupting everybody else's mind.
They don't need.
And it's already doing it, because the president from Turkey wants the United States to extradite. I forgot the name, but it's one person.
Yeah. He's in Pennsylvania right now.
Yeah, he wants him to be extradited because, according to the president of Turkey, he was one of the main heads that erupted and caused the
Gulen, the one I was saying, the Gulen part.
So that's how the U.S. eventually got involved.
But do you believe that though, fool? I mean, it makes no sense though, fool. Not to talk about like trying to make conspiracy, but like when we're talking about what makes sense, fool.
But see, that's the thing.
Nothing in life really makes sense.
See, so obviously it's affecting us.
I really believe that fool did it just to gain more power, like they say. He staged that shit. Because how is it that the CIA is gonna warn the president of Turkey that some shit is gonna go down, and then these fools counter intelligence saying, well, we know who it was. Like, how the fuck do you know who it was when we didn't even know that shit was gonna happen? You just warned me. How am I supposed to tell you who it was for the cause of the warning you just gave me? Like, that shit makes no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude, but a lot of shit doesn't make sense nowadays.
I think honestly, I like I told you, I don't think that shit's getting. I hate saying it, fool, because every fucking time something's happening, more people are dying, fool.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But think about it. Did it make sense for that one guy to run off to Russia and sell all the secrets, the CIA secrets? Did it make sense? It didn't make sense.
I mean,
that didn't make sense.
There was a lot of information that some of the information he didn't need to release.
In general, dude, he didn't need to release anything. He could have just kept his mouth shut.
No, well, he did it for the people, though, fool.
But what good was it for the people?
Well, what he thought was to fucking let us know that the government's fucking give us an official document to tell, hey, the government is listening to tapping into your shit without you guys improving.
Yeah, but, and my personal thinking is, we've been knowing that for years. The people have been knowing that for years. It's not a secret.
It's not.
But it's not about the secret, fool. It's about having the paper, fool, to prove it, fool. You know what I'm saying? It's like
they have papers about UFOs. We've been knowing that though. There's shit that doesn't make sense, that doesn't need to be released, doesn't need to be fucking a conspiracy, because we already know.
Well, one thing for sure, I personally think fucking Edward Snowden was a fucking Russian spy, fool. I don't think that fool was American pro for anything, fool. Because first of all, he was just a contractor, fool. He didn't even work for the NSA, fool. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, if it was like an actual NSA employee coming out leaking that shit, then you could whistleblow that shit. But when you're a contractor, third party, coming in and saying, hey, I just stumbled upon this shit, I think it needs to be released.
Right.
I mean, there you could already kind of play, okay, well, I mean, what the fuck were you even doing there in the first place, How did you stumble upon it, More like you're a fucking spy.
More like you're a double crosser.
And that's when, I mean, He ran to China first.
And China kicked him the fuck out.
Yeah, because why would a Russian spy go back to his home state? They ain't fucking know he's a fucking a Russian spy. You need to go somewhere where they can fucking start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Cause I know damn sure. I remember seeing the news, dude. The first thing they said, the fuck is working for the Chinese and shit. And then once that shit happened, China was like, fuck out of here and shit.
Yeah.
We're the first ones to give them the open arms.
Yeah, bringing shade over here and shit. Nah, but yeah, dude, I just think none of this shit makes sense anymore. I just gave up on believing.
I just feel like the more years pass by, the more it's gonna progress to get more violent and violent because it's starting to engrave into people's heads. And like I said, like last time, it's an effect of fucking domino. It's just gonna keep passing on, and the more we go through, it's gonna get worse. Here.
That's it. My personal opinion, I think World War III is coming because it's coming because
maybe we're already in World War III.
We've already played all our chips. You know what I'm saying? Like democracy has fell to the fullest and shit. Like we're the number one democratic country in the world, fool. And we're dropping the chips already, fool. Because what? Companies own a lot of fucking things now, fool. China owns like a bunch of fucking U.S. stocks, bonds and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody could fucking just come into the United States and own whatever the fuck they want because we're in debt. That being said, once we lose that example, fool, it's over, fool. That gives the number one thing that still believes in itself and is still willing to work it out itself, which is communism, fool. Because communism is still around. It's not big, but it's still around. Its beliefs hasn't changed, folks, and it still thinks it works. Because at the end of the day, it works just as much as democracy. I'm not saying it works all completely, but it worked. The only fucked up thing is that the people pay more in communism.
Yeah, and everybody's equal.
That's why you have all these fucking these fucking groups and shit.
I just with this whole fucking Turkey shit, and then. I look at it from fucking 5 years ago where they started fucking announcing that, they want to split California up. They want to fucking make California into like 2-3 different states. Like, that's fucking stupid, but whatever. Now, they fucking want to make one currency for Canada, United States, and Mexico. Okay.
They want to do it like the euro.
Yeah.
The euro, right? Now, Britain fucking wants to fucking leave euro. Wants to be his own shit.
They already
left.
Actually,
well, yeah, they leave. I'm sorry, they left already. Okay, that happened. Now we're fucking shit that's going on in United States, fucking France, Turkey, Iraq, Iran, all that shit. Like, it's just a fucking sign that people need to fucking realize, like, and accept, mainly accept the fact that things are gonna change.
Let me tell you something, Carnal. Let me tell you why I think it's a good thing for California to split from the United States. It's a good thing because it's going to put us back in reality as Californians. It's going to put us back into the world. The problem with this country, Carnal, is that we live in a virtual type of country that over time got built the way it is. And the problem here is that not only do we have freedom, which is a good thing, officially in certain things, but we're too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And in reality, Carnal, that's not how it should be. Because if you go back to the days when you had the hunters and gatherers and shit, you had people, man, had to go, sow from what they were, plant and shit, work the lands, work for their food, hunt the food. You know what I'm saying? Nothing was comfortable back in the day, but it was something that needed to be done. I bet you didn't bitch about it though. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew that was just the way of living. You know what I'm saying? Now we got welfare. We got like all these programs and shit. We got too comfortable. We live in we're the only. Besides Europe, modern civilization, we're the only people that actually have these free services for certain individuals, which were meant for disability people. Don't get me wrong, but come on, you have people fucking, have driving these nice ass fucking cars and shit, and on fucking welfare because they're getting money from the system. It's not gonna work. This country's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And splitting from the United States. It's not going to be comfortable. I'm telling you that right now. It's not going to be comfortable, but on the long run, it's going to be better for us.
I'm talking about the future. I know.
But if you really think about it, do you think California is really stable right now to take on that responsibility?
We're not.
Economic-wise?
I don't think so.
But
without the U.S. help?
But this is why they don't want to split it, because California, and this speaks for its people too, This is why I don't understand why they always bitch about immigrants and all that fucking bullshit. Because California is one of the highest. We bring trillions of dollars into this economy, but we also have one of the biggest debts too. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that we're bringing in that much money, if you split California, if every country split apart, California itself and shit, along with Texas, would be the only one with the majority of Hispanics and shit. Richest fucking states in this country, which also speaks for immigrants. Then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they don't want to. They don't want to split it because of the same fact that, you know what? Like, why would you want to fucking bail on
the people that are fucking keeping
if you
up.
if you had if you had a guy, if every one of us represented a state, bro.
Yeah.
And I was California. They said David was California, and I was fucking. Let's just say I don't know,
Colorado,
Georgia. David owed you the most money. He owes you the most money, but he almost puts the most of your money in your pocket right now. And I don't give you that much money, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, I don't owe you that much money. Who you want to keep?
David.
Why? Because he's giving you more, like, real life cash in your pocket right now.
Right.
Even though he owes you money, but he's giving you the money to pay your bills right now.
He's keeping me balanced to succeed. Other than that,
even though debt,
it's not hurting me.
Debt, when you talk about debt, you know, debt ratio, like, yeah, he owes you the most money too, but he's also fucking putting the dollar bills in your pocket. That's why they won't do it. That's the problem. But as long as we do, it's gonna happen because, you know, like, I mean, California, they already fucking said it. You know, Texas already said it. You know what I'm saying? Other countries, they already said it. You know, like
all this has to be fucking tied up with fucking what happened in Turkey. It's just the government fucking wants change. Yeah, they're gonna get change and shit by fucking killing a fucking shitload of people. That's the only fucking way they could change anything. Look what happened. Fuck, look what's happened in Turkey, man. But
that's just
all I have to say, you know, to fucking end my opinion, my conversation with Turkey is that the people have to accept what's coming. Now, you either want to go one way, two ways. One is fucking going against the government. The other is just accepting and fucking just let it happen. There's no other fucking way. You want fucking, if you guys want to fucking shed blood, then fucking go against the government. But what is America's number one fucking defense is fucking airstrikes.
Yeah.
They're you know, I always grew up saying, you know what, or I grew up fucking like believing like when you fucking fight, you fight fist to fist, no guns, no knives. The United States don't fight with fucking fists. They fight. To me, they fight with fucking airstrikes and that's it. Boom, fucking, you know, chicken shit, whatever, you know. A real man fucking holds his ground and fucking fight like they used to back in the fucking Civil War and shit. You know what I mean? Like fucking, you know, back in the fucking George Washington's day, they fucking were, you know, toe to toe. But now, the fucking United States want a fucking airstrike. Russia wants to airstrike. All these motherfuckers want an airstrike. All right, you know, I'll give it to them. Whatever, you know.
And you know what? And now that we're coming back to that point, look. Now that we're coming back to that point, I feel like most of the terrorist attacks that are done, they're done. How are they done? Hand-on-hand combat. Why? Because we look at hand up. The reason why U.S. is the way it is because of the airstrike, like they were saying. But when it comes to hand-on-hand combat, who's the ISIS, Taliban? They're the ones with the most experience at hand-on-hand combat because they've been going for years.
I don't know about.
They're traditions. They got the traditions, but you know what? They're not. I'm not saying they're the strongest, but these guys, they their whole life has been nothing but hand-on-hand combat with guns. You know.
Come to that no more, bro. Hand-on-hand combat.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You know, that's what I'm saying. These terrorist attacks
ran with drones now, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's why now.
Are you talking about bombs, like kind of like they hit
So
with
this
bombs
is the way I see it.
like,
The terrorists, they own the fucking ground.
The
government owns the sky.
Yeah.
So who wins?
Who wins?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Who wins? No, but who wins? Both. Because you can't. Yeah. How many you actually? You know what? To be honest, the ground wins. If you fucking hit bombs under and fucking kill everyone by fucking stepping on a mine, boom, everybody fucking dies. If you fucking if someone finds a way to fucking bring those fucking drones or planes down, they fucking win either way. But to me, is the fucking the the fucking terrorists own the ground, and the fucking government owns the sky.
That's what it was.
That's what it is. That's what it is. So. At the end of the day, we got fucking cameras still catching these motherfuckers planting the fucking bombs, and they fucking catch these motherfuckers
Red-handed.
They know. They fucking come on. If I was United States and I know fucking Google or whoever the fuck whatever, if I know they have cameras in the fucking in satellites, I would focus on that fucking specific area at a fucking daytime to see where the fuck they at. And if not, they got infrared fucking cameras that fucking know exactly where they plant those bombs, and they still let them fucking drive through there. They don't say shit. Why? I don't understand that shit. Why?
Because they feel like if they dodge that, then that's giving the enemy the upper hand, knowing like, oh well, these fools know now they gotta look for another tactic. You know?
It's because there's no actual tactic for it. It kind of goes back to the source. How do we stop ISIS? In order to stop ISIS, you have to stop their religion, and that's something you can't do.
You can't stop the religion.
Because an idea passes faster than anything, a bullet, you know what I'm saying? Like that, it's always going to keep coming out, you know what I'm saying?
And that's a good example. Have you guys seen...
No, look, because look, it really comes down to like regions and shit, you know what I'm saying? The Muslims have like, at least like those hardcore Muslims and shit, they have a real fucked up way of living, you know what I'm saying? Especially for females, I mean, fuck, it's hard, don't get me wrong. It's just crazy for them. But when they're in their region and shit, you know what I'm saying? And we're in our region and shit, there's no reason why they want to come over here, because they don't like anything that we do of how we live, you know what I'm saying? The problem is that we went over there, we stepped into their region.
And they already fucking sent the cop, the fucking cop on us and shit. Fucking hear our conversation. Fuck you guys.
We stepped in there not because we wanted to like free the women or change the lives of all those people. We stepped in there because of the oil, not knowing what the fuck we were doing and shit. But when we stepped in there, we stepped on something very personal for them, which is their way of living and shit. And that's what pissed them off and shit. While we went in there for the oil, we fucked that shit up, and that's why they fucking hate us now. And they're gonna keep on hating us, because every time, I mean, this thing about how many civilians got killed in those fucking drone kills.
Yeah.
Attacks. Those are in the hundreds of thousands, fool. You know what I'm saying? And if you put all the innocent people here, just like over there, that got killed, it's still not a level game and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what they're seeing right now.
And it is right. You know why? Because look, just throw out there. Have you guys seen 13 Hours? Who's seen 13 Hours?
I haven't seen it.
Neither have I.
All right.
I don't even know what that is.
That movie is about how ISIS started, about Hillary Clinton, and about the CIA. CIA was in a country in Syria. It's called Baghdad or something like that. Back in 2011, before ISIS had a stronghold in Syria, they sent CIA agents. That country is forbidden to have any type of military, but because of alliance, they made it happen. Now we're getting shined on by the helicopter. Anyways,
the helicopter just shined us.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think we
All right.
turn on the light.
Turn off the light. Welcome. Look, all right. So that movie was based on the CIA, ISIS, and Hillary Clinton, and the whole outcome was that the CIA was in there.
Listen, guys. Hold on. You gotta understand, we're fucking right here next to a base, right? Fucking Verizon owns everything, so they ain't fucking hearing a conversation. But me personally, I give a shit, because they know we're right. Or else, why would they do so? All coincidence? Coincidence that we fucking got shined by a fucking helicopter? Fuck no. They did it because they hear our conversation.
And it's not.
And they know.
It is.
You know what? Cheers out. As a matter of fact, they don't even give a fuck what we say in this fucking shit.
Because they know they're not gonna.
Because at the end of the day, they're laughing because we know we're right, but there's nothing we can do.
Yeah. And that goes back to the point. I was talking about the 13 Hours. It's about the CIA that was sent to Baghdad, or a country out there in Syria, by Hillary Clinton. Now these guys, they were not supposed to be there. Syria, they found out they were there. They got ambushed.
Hold on. And for those that are hearing, fuck you guys. I'm just saying, not our public, but outside our public. Not the fucking
Out of our
government.
circle for the wrong reasons.
Fuck
Yeah.
you guys.
Well,
Yeah,
that happened. Whatever, ISIS attacked the base. It was like a embassy, but it wasn't. They couldn't consider it an embassy because they were not supposed to be there. So it was like a hidden base. They found, like a mile away, there was another base that was the actual embassy, but it was for their country. The American ambassador got killed in that country. 4 CIA agents got killed. Through the first attack, the CIA, 2 CIA agents and ambassador got killed. Now the guys from the a mile away base, they heard it. They seen the commotion. They responded to the main officer. Hey, you know, we need to go get them. They're fucking asking for help. We go right now. We'll catch them. We'll save them. We'll back them up. We'll retrieve them over here, and then we'll come over here. And the guy was like, no, we gotta wait for orders. Regardless of what, the guy said no. The CIA agents, out of being the fucking honest people they were, they said fuck you. They went. They didn't say they put the ambassador dead already in the car. Got their CIA agents, moved them back to their base. Now Syria found out where they were at. These guys requested, they were cornered in a bunker for like 10 hours. They were getting heavy fire. And it was like an elite group of like 12 against like 50, 60 people. I mean, I'm talking about not like in one time, I'm talking about waves. Every wave, they had like 6 waves attack. And they're like constantly like 60 people attacking them. They requested for airstrike, they never got it. Until, you know who stepped up? It was the Delta Force, Green Berets, the mercenaries, different type of like heavy hitters. They came together and they're like, fuck it, we're gonna go get these guys. Out of orders, they went to go get them. After whatever happened, after they got rescued and they got sent home, every single one of those CIA agents that were in that battle, they all resigned. Said, fuck you guys, we're not part of the CIA no more. You guys fucking left us stranded. First of all, you let the ambassador get killed. We requested for an airstrike. You knew where we were at. They had one in Italy, like an hour away. They had another one in Spain, an hour away. They had another base, and none of them came through to save them. None of them. They made it out of them. They made it out of there because the actual agents that actually fucking didn't give a fuck about the orders, they went out of their way. But how come they never said shit? Because what are they gonna say? Like, hey, these guys went out of the way to go save some people. They're not gonna put them on blast. No, but what they do, they got home. The first thing they did, every single one of those CIA agents, they resigned. I know that's not the full story, but that kind of gives you an idea. Like, why the fuck would they resign? Because they seen it. They're like,
with the Benghazi attacks.
yeah, but because they seen it. The CIA, like, fuck. First of all, we go in there trying to do some shit right. We get attacked, and we request for help. And what happens? Nothing happened. Well, they were left for dead, but they made it out.
Look.
Now when you get left for dead and you get left out, when you get left for dead and you get left out and you make it back, now you're looking stupid because you didn't go save them, but they made it back. So what are you supposed to tell them? Oh, you did a good job. But the CIA agents, they all resigned. Every single one that was in that combat, they all resigned. Never, ever again went to the CIA. Never again. They're fucking photographers right now. They're fucking regular people that are living with us.
We don't even know.
That's
the problem. We don't even know what is what anymore. That's
But
like
look,
Yeah, you know?
look.
It's like somebody could
Kinda
be
go back
a
to what
monster,
Dale
you know?
says.
The only thing they're gonna say, like when shit like this happen, like when you have someone that's talking about that shit, even like Turkey and all that, all they're gonna say like, "Well, do you have proof?" No.
And that's the best way to move, though, guys.
Exactly.
Like, you guys gotta understand. Like, the government's not gonna come out and say every little shit they do, because the best way you make shit happen is if you keep your shit quiet.
No. No. That what I'm saying is like, that's the only the only defense. Do you have proof?
Because they kept their shit quiet.
Although we're not stupid, we see it.
Yeah, like,
Now, if you wanna fucking,
a
let's
human
say-
being can put 2 and 2 together, but it's just like David says, if you can't prove it, the fuck you mean? You know, and that's what you guys gotta understand. The government is really good at that.
No, not the government, dude. The fucking CIA. CIA is not part of the government.
I think everything already. I think everything's. I think every government itself is cracking at some point away. Like, you know, like, have you guys heard of Stuxnet?
Can't say I
Stuxnet?
have.
Stuxnet? It's like
Is that Russian?
STUX-net. No, Stuxnet.
I help him. You know what? It sounds like the fool come out and grow the bastards. Nazi?
No, it had to do with the Iranians and shit, you know, when they were trying to make their nuclear power plant and stuff like that happen, and we were trying to buy time, you know, to get a deal with them and shit. And what Stuxnet it's a virus and shit, a malware computer virus that was released to stop the Iranians from doing it. It was developed by the United States and shit, according to sources. You know what I'm saying? Unofficially, it was developed by the United States and Israeli intelligence together. And when the United States gave, you know, because they programmed it, but the Israelis were the ones who kind of polished it and inserted it where it needed to go. But the Israelis ended up messing with it, and they alternated it. And that's what made it sloppy, and that's why we know there's a such thing as Stuxnet, because the Iranians actually found out that shit, like, we got hit by a fucking a cyber attack because what was going on, their fuses were constantly blowing at their plants, and they didn't know why, because the computer would say that everything's fine, but like their hardware shit was like constantly like fucking, you know, like messing up.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't think too much of it until they actually pulled one of the computers out and shit at a random, not even because they thought they were cyber attacks, but just because one of the nuclear physicists that were there just ended up just taking it in and saying like, hey, you know what's wrong with my computer and shit, because it ended up glitching, and they ended up finding that it was fucking malware, and they've never seen that shit before. It was actually sent to somebody in the United States to look at it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that person worked or had connection with Symantec, which is Northern Antivirus, different type of American companies and stuff, and they found out that it was actually a fucking virus, actually man-made, it was so advanced, it was so advanced that they went like 2 months into it, just barely scratching the surface of what it is. They've never seen anything like it. Not anonymous, none of these groups could have pulled this, you know. That's why they know that for sure it was somebody. It was sponsored by a big state. You know what I'm saying? Now we only know because people, you know, certain sources say from DC that it was actually ours. Well, what Stuxnet is basically what any other computer virus would do. You have a user, which is like a person like me, that implements it, puts it in there, and it sends back a signal saying, what do you want me to do? And he sends the command, and the computer does whatever it has to do. Whatever the computer does, it receives back, this is the outcome of what you asked me to do. What else do you want me to do? Then you send it back. But they knew that was risky, because the virus could get captured like that. So what these guys did, these morons, fucking actually made a fucking malware virus that actually thinks for itself. It programs itself, it learns the system, and it gives it preset commands. And from those preset commands, that malware starts like making its own decisions. What happened was that when it was not supposed to be harsh. It was supposed to only like twerk the monitors enough to like slow down the processes. But the Israelis, what they did was they alternated to the point where it made it more violent, more destructive, and the process it damaged some of the infrastructure from the code. So like the code ended up fucking getting out and shit. And Stuxnet is basically infesting like pretty much a lot of different things in the world right now. It's spreading and shit. If you guys look it up, you know, like I don't know. I only came across it because there was I like Trend Micro. I have my antivirus and shit, and some guy just mentioned it out of nowhere randomly in the comments. You know, like oh, like what's the point? You know, like Stuxnet is here and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is Stuxnet and shit? And I started looking into it, and it was something that was it's real. It's a real problem. The part where I'm just saying that the sources came out saying that the United States made it, but the problem it really is there. Every computer is being infected, and it keeps happening. You know what I'm saying? Every Microsoft, any type of PC computer is getting constantly infected and shit, and it's spreading all over the world. This Stuxnet is spreading all over the world, I don't know if you guys remember for a certain time, you know, you guys got your debit cards that has a little chip and shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was the problem. And I don't remember. You guys remember saying that, you know, like, hey, you need to get a new card. You know, you need to exchange for new cards and shit, and you just get a new card. The new cards come with the chip, and it was because of that, because Stucknix. Every major card has it now. You know, the little fucking chip reader card, and it has to do with that because the Stucknix had infested certain computers and shit, certain infrastructures in the United States. So they needed people to desperately change to this chip because this chip is what protects you from that shit, Stucknix, and it's only getting more infected. The crazy thing about it is that Stucknix, whatever it's doing, people don't know what it's planning to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't know, so they're constantly switching out hardware because it infects hardware and shit. So if you look at Edison and shit, Edison has been doing a bunch of outages and shit. Like, hey, you know, there's gonna be power outage here for this certain amount of time. For my block, I already got like 3 of them within this year. 3 of them. Hey, you know, for this day, there's gonna be it's gonna be off.
Fucking power, yeah.
Because they're changing the grids and shit because of that Stucknix shit.
Oh,
that
shit sounds like a fucking Terminator movie, which is exactly what it is. But saying the Terminator, what is it called? The Terminator has a different.
The problem with Stucknix is that the Stucknix, it wasn't given a common enemy. You know what I'm saying? It was only given the idea of what to do when it's in there, like a preset of what to be malicious and start fucking up shit. But the thing is that it didn't give it a common enemy. So Stucknix, our infrastructure it sees it like nothing. Even if we did make it to Stucknix, the malware, it's still nothing and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's some crazy shit. So the government's waiting. Actually, the governments of the world are waiting. That's just another problem the world has. They're waiting to see what Stucknix is gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Because for whatever it was designed and shit, which, you know, like, it was designed for Iranians to do, for some reason it's infecting, and they're thinking that one day it's just gonna shut everything down, or it was gonna cause like that shit to go overdrive. So you could see street lights just fucking all turning red or all turning green. Like, it's gonna fuck up a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that shit goes back to, you know, to how we're saying how, like, there's like so many shit going on in the world right now that at the end of the day it doesn't really matter anymore. Like, there's no way of dodging the bullet.
Shit, imagine the fucking airplanes falling down and shit.
That's the problem, you know what I'm saying? Navigation systems and shit. Everything is autopilot, even cars.
Shit, even the
shit.
fucking, I mean, look at what happened. Look what's going on with Tesla. Look at the fucking navigation system. The fucking crashes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Every hardware problem that's going on right now, 90% of it is all Stucknix, because it's a malware and there's no protecting from it. It's like the AIDS and shit for computer viruses, because normally viruses and shit, they kind of like, you tend to kind of like get a heads up. I don't know exactly. I'm not a tech guy, but like, normally like they said, it normally gives out a scent and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This shit, once inside your computer hardware, it's not gonna do shit for the next 15 to 30 days. It's not gonna do nothing. What it does, it sees what you do. So like in my case, I come from work around 4 or 5. Get on my computer, start making some beats. I already know what plugins I want to use, you know what I'm saying? What kind of beats I want to do, how long my beats are. For 15, 30 days, it reads what you do. And then it copies that. And then once that deadline comes, for the next 30 days, it makes your computer think and makes it run just the way you think you want it to run. But then you start getting all this shit. My computer crashed. You know how it crashed?
Yeah, it's been crashing lately, yeah.
And, you know, and I, like they said, my response from Norton Antivirus, which is Symantec, said, you know, your hard drives just died on you. You know what I'm saying? They crashed. Still working on the issue. I never got a fucking answer from that shit. But I'm pretty sure it had to do something with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something like that, because it's already out. And shit. It's out and it's not coming in.
Right.
It's not. They can't clean it up. The only way to beat this
Bluetooth
is by changing everything, and building new hardware devices. Like, whatever it is, if it's for electricity, the grids, they have to make brand new ones with a preset antivirus that already knows what Stuxx is before it hits. But that is hard. It's hard to do that because they're still trying to figure out how to do it. And it kind of goes back to like, well, if the United States really did it, you know what I'm saying? Shouldn't we already have like a cure for it? You know what I'm saying? Like a free protection to it.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like the fucking Resident Evil movie. Like they made a fucking virus and they had a cure for it before they even put the virus out because they had to secure
According to
the
the
cure.
Semantic people, there was no. They
didn't make no cure. They just
whoever
made
released this had made one of the biggest decisions that they know they can't come back from, because there was no cure for it. It's like when you're working on something so great, you know what I'm saying? You're like constantly working on it, tweaking it up. It's gonna take for you do it for 30 years.
Right.
It's gonna take you another 30 years to figure out how to make an antivirus for it. You know what I'm saying?
See, and the fucking term is called Skynet.
Well, this is called Stucknecks. This shit's Stucknet.
Synthetic intelligence. But anywho, I don't know. Fucking government's crazy, man. I mean, look what just happened right now. We fucking got flashed by the fucking helicopter, and and they hear a conversation, but I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. Whoever's fucking here, fuck you guys. Turkey, on the other hand, it's fucking crazy, man. Martial law. I just feel like they're trying to fucking, bring that shit here too in the United States with the whole police.
I mean, Turkey.
Because you know what, police it's a fucking perfect target. Because without the police, well, who the fuck is gonna take care of us? You know what I mean? So what they bring in, the fucking government, which is the next step, But anywho, hey, and you know what? Not to think about it, back in the 1964 when the fucking riots came, remember that day?
60.
And then fucking who was there? Not the cops. Who was the ones that were fucking controlling the streets?
LAPD.
No, it wasn't the LAPD. The LAPD couldn't fucking handle that shit. So who they call in?
The
Military.
The National Guard.
The National Guard.
And I feel like
So that shit tells you like that, like it's not it's a lot of people don't fucking they think about like, oh, it's not a big deal, but little by little it's fucking Metro's gonna fucking start running these fucking streets. I mean, like, fuck.
It's only gonna escalate a little by little because like if you really think about it.
Let me say something about this conversation here. You know what? And in the back of the days, there was more freedom than now. Hey, freedom comes with a price. We lost a lot of freedom because of because of this, because of that, because of this. A simple example. If I have a beer right now, one beer, I decide to go to the store and get something that to get some groceries. I get stopped. They smell my breath. Okay, you're drunk. Let's take you in. $15,000 for drinking a fucking beer. If they're so worried about people not drinking, why the fuck don't they close the breweries down? Okay? Why don't they close all these fucking alcoholic beverages down, huh? Too much tax money. That's why. Tax money. You buy a beer, the government gets a cut of it.
Yeah.
So what the fuck they make a big deal out of this shit? Just because somebody, okay, I mean, I understand, hey, if you're like going over the fucking and you're drunk as hell, okay, fine. You deserve it. But because you have a smell in your breath that you took one beer, you gotta pay the same fucking amount or pay the same price as somebody that's really fucked up in the street.
Right.
That's bullshit. There's no freedom anymore.
Yeah.
We have lost a lot of freedom. This is not why are we saying we're the free country? There's no fucking freedom in here, in this country no more.
We're enslaved by work, economics,
Shit, hey,
money.
there's no freedom. We're not free to do anything. The system controls us.
Enslaved by comfort.
Yeah.
The system controls
We
us
work.
now.
It's basically the way the government is. We work and we get to comfort ourselves, but there's still a price
Come
with that.
on, hey. Where's the freedom in this?
Why would like when you see a group of protesters out there? Why, if you're good, you got your your nice little job and shit.
Why are you
Why would you
protesting?
wanna fuck it up? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's everybody's mentality. Oh, most people's mentality. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Hey,
I just see like the reason why.
freedom comes with price, okay? We're free to do it. If we want to kill ourselves, so fuck it, we'll kill ourselves. So we're not fucking drive ourselves over the fucking road. We're free to do so.
You
Come
know,
on.
and it's
We
crazy.
have lost a lot of freedom.
And it's crazy because I see it like
We lost the republic. That's
no,
what
look,
it is.
jump back to Turkey. Now we start off as the people fucking. We start off as something simple. What was it like a fucking? For instance, this country started off with the black movement, which was Martin Luther King. That's where where they started losing control.
Nah, but
Recently
they
we had it
didn't
with
lose
Dallas.
control,
Now we're losing control. But now look, Now that's what it is. It's the people fighting against the government. Now it's the military fighting against the government. It's always gonna escalate. Now people are that shit just opened people's eyes. Like the recent attacks that happened, and now the thing with Turkey, how people are gonna be like, fuck, even the old military rebel. Like, what makes you think that? What is that putting in everybody else's heads? Fuck, like there's a certain country. It might not be our country, but we witnessed it. One country, it could get back to that point. It could be any country. That could happen to any country. You know?
Like, but the problem, carnal, the thing is that, look, this system, this government system implemented the metric system for race. You know what I'm saying? The government, people with money, bro, they don't care about blacks and Latinos and all that shit. They don't give a shit, but they don't even care about the.
They don't even care about the look.
Most of them are white. If most of them are white, they don't give a shit about the white middle class. They don't, because money is its own race. You know what I'm saying? And you know why? You know what is the only thing that could stop that money? That race of money? It's blood. You know what I'm saying? Which we had back in the days when there was royalty. Because it was all about blood, lineage and shit. That bond that you had in your blood was stronger than money.
They had structure.
But that's why they had to eliminate that. Because once you eliminate that, and then you implement a race metric system and shit, where like you can see like blacks, Mexicans, that just separates us all apart. Even whites, they get separated in the mix, middle class white. And these white people, or they could probably be black, Hispanics, whatever they are, whatever color they say, they're all in one group because money is one race.
Yeah. And
that's all. That race is the strongest race in the world. It really is. A race that doesn't give a shit about the color of your skin, because you know what? At the end of the day, they know those rich elite people, the money people, the race of those money people. They know that at the end of the day, it's not about the color of their skin.
Yeah.
But you need to put something there. You need to put something there that checks itself, that controls itself.
Right.
You have a white middle class people that was fed back in the days that white people are more superior in intelligence than Hispanics and blacks. That itself already checks everything else, because you have a white group. A white group that's constantly putting down the other 3, 4, 5 groups down. Why? Because the rich race, rich people that know that race has nothing to do with it. There's nothing special about the color of your skin. To them, it's fine for them to think, these white middle class people, to think they're better than everybody else, so they could keep them down.
Yeah.
And these people control these people, which controls everything else. It's the race. If we want to change this country, we need to drop this whole race, the whole metric system for race. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be considered Latino. You know what I'm saying? You know, you should just be a male. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the way it is.
A male and a female. That's just it. Life will be so more simple if it was just male and a female. That's it.
And I go by color, go by shades. You know what I'm saying? Dark, black,
dark female.
You know what I'm saying? Medium,
light male.
Could be, you know what I'm saying? Like
you could describe the male. Yeah.
The only people that do it would be cops and shit. You know what I'm saying? You need to describe a suspect. Yeah, be more detailed. But for us to go around, oh yeah, I just talked to a black guy. Why do I have to say black?
Black guy.
It shouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't matter who I'm talking to. The right way to do it, like, I just talked to some dude in here and shit. Boom. And in your head, you shouldn't even be like, oh, what was he, Hispanic? You know, that mentality, that shit was put here.
It shouldn't even be that. We should be all called by our names. Like, I just talked to a guy named George.
That's what I'm saying. There should be no reason why the color of our skin should be even in the conversation. And that's why, you know what I'm saying? And the ones that were doing it, like the Royals, they didn't use that metric system.
They didn't.
The church didn't like, oh, you know, separate us neither, because the church goes by what Jesus says, you know, like we're all equal and shit. You know what I'm saying? Who was it? It was these fucking the Illuminists and shit. The Illuminati and shit. A lot of people call them Illuminati because the church called them Illuminati. Illuminati in Italian is Illuminist, but the original name is Illuminist.
Which means enlightened one.
Yeah. But a lot of people talk about Illuminati. No, Illuminati is what the church called them because they knew of the threat the Illuminists were. They're the ones who brought up the metric system. They're the ones who they did a bunch of shit. They were the revolutionary thinkers and shit. Because of them, the people revolted. Out of kingdoms that weren't really bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? They were really bad. You know why? Because the kings and queens know that the people were the engines of their kingdoms. You don't. It's like you're having a car. You're not gonna fucking open up your hood and start fucking getting that shit dirty.
You're gonna take
You
care of
need
it.
your car to be clean. You know what I'm saying? You need to take care of your car. That's the same way the kingdoms were back in the days. The Luminous was what put that mentality. Well, why should the king and queen be in that big ass house and you be in this fucking little house and shit? Shouldn't you have that type of privilege too?
The
That
right psychology of us being equal is what separated us.
Equal. But at the end of the day, bro, at the end of the day, we were not all equal in certain things because a smith, which makes steel, was not as equal or did not have the same type of ability as somebody that actually did agriculture.
Yeah.
They were not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we're not the same. You know what I'm saying? We all have our things to do. Kings and queens, they were just and royals were just good leaderships. But I bet you if you put that king and queen in a fucking crop field, they'll cry their ass off and shit.
Yeah. They would, cause they don't know how to.
'Cause everything balances and shit. But the Luminists, they knew they had that mentality. You know what? How could I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You would only have to ask one of those people that actually know and shit. What really is the number one goal for the Luminists? The revolution, obviously, France was the first one to revolt. France was the first country to actually have a revolution. After the revolution after it happened, when they killed the royal family, like about 3,000 people after that died. Innocent people got executed too, because when they put when the nobles came in after saying like when the nobility came, okay, well don't worry, we'll lead this shit. Which were some of the Luminists were nobles, nobilic. What happened? The people that they brainwashed, saying that they shouldn't be there, they said, well, what the fuck? Like, doesn't that make you like a king and queen? Fucking kill you too. And those people that replaced, kill him too. Like, they kept on replacing people, regular Joes, and she started coming in. And everybody's saying, like, why the fuck should you be king? Kill him too. And execution after execution after execution and shit. So, at the end of the day, democracy, like I said, it doesn't work and shit. It doesn't work. Because at the end of the day, some people can lead and some people can't lead. And you know what? There's nothing bad with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There really is nothing. Just because you can lead doesn't make you better than everybody. Because at the end of the day, that person that can lead, I bet you can't even fucking... Wouldn't he be able to fucking grow his own crops for his own life and shit? Would fucking start to that. Democracy doesn't work. And I only learned that because I studied the history that I did. You know, so it goes back to our ancestry shit. I needed to learn that shit. Not because I wanted to learn, but I just came across information like, wow, I can't believe this is really the history of humanity and shit. How we came a long way. More people died in World War I than they did in the last 1,000 years in wars between kingdoms and shit. That's not even putting World War II in there.
How many people?
For the World War I? In World War I, there must have been from at least 15 to 20 million deaths.
How many?
15 to 20 million deaths in World War I. If you put all the numbers together from day one to all the way to the 1900s, it comes about 5 million people.
And that would be men, not women, right?
That would be, well, a lot of it has to do because a lot of that was
including civilians or just soldiers.
That's including civilians too, because the Turkish, which were the of Islamic origin, they did a lot of massacres.
Well, how many men died in World War I? Let's talk about that.
Let's just say 15, not 20, because there was casualties in World War I. 15 million.
Million men.
Of soldiers, counting soldiers.
Yeah, that's men, because women weren't allowed to go in battle.
And let's just say we're just estimating that. You know, let's just say 5 million. The extra 5 million were
okay. Well, let's talk about this. Let's go back in history and all the wars with Rome or whatever race it is. Who were the ones to go into battle?
The soldiers.
Yeah, but what? Sexual wise?
Male.
Male. So we're talking about millions of men that died through history.
Yeah.
So
That was the way to do it.
Okay, so why is men being demoted now? If men were the ones to make things happen to what it is today. Men is being demoted. Now, let's be realistic about this. If we go into battle, let's say we go against a majority of women against men. I mean, women has to be very highly tech backed up technology-wise to win over. But women are not meant for war. I don't know why they have to be in uniform.
That's something que, pues,
I understand. They wanna have the equal rights as men, but when it comes to battle or war, that's not a place for women to be.
I have a theory that why that is. I think it's because in times of war, the brave men die and the cowards stay alive. You know what I'm saying? Because brave men go to war, and cowards choose not to go to war. So at the end of the day, when the brave man died, if he didn't have a son, that's it for him. That line stops, and these so-called cowards keep producing.
Well,
and the world, I think the world's getting filled up with cowards.
Hold on. Let's rename that word coward. Okay, a lot of these men that don't go to war because they're cowards.
I'm saying okay.
No. Listen to this. A lot of these men don't go to war because they're religious. Their values in religion, they're very strong. They believe they can't take another life because that's the way God wants it. Okay. So a lot of these men don't go to war because of them. Because they're not cowards. They're just religious morals. Their the religious insights are more stronger than taking a human life. They're not cowards.
So let me go back to what I said that. All right, you're right that. Okay, so what I meant was that when we're talking about soldiers, we're talking about people that don't have religious background and don't have any business background. Because obviously, a businessman that's very good at what he does. It's not wise for his country for him to send him out because they need him here. You know what I'm saying? But when we're talking about soldiers, somebody that doesn't really have any type of trait that could contribute to a civilization to grow, a person that chooses to not go to war or just runs away from war just because they just don't want to be in war because they don't want to get killed and stuff like that, that's a coward. But if you could contribute something to community, like you said, a religious person by law, he can't go. You know what I'm saying? And a business person, if he's actually helping the economy, it's not wise for him or his sons to go. You know what I'm saying? To go to war. Even though there's sometimes the sons of business people, they would do for honor and stuff like that. But it just shows, but I'm talking about the average Joe. The average Joe that knows he can fight for his country, but chooses not to fight for his country, that's a coward. And I think those people
also has a freedom of decision to do if he wants or not. See, that's part of being free. Now this draft thing, when you're drafted, you have no choice. But you lose that freedom at the same time. I understand if only 5,000 enlist and you got 50,000, 60,000 ahead of you, okay, there's no choice. Let's draft. It's a draft. But if the government has enough guys to go to battle, why the hell does it have to draft people? Or why do they have to lose their freedom to decide if they want to go or not? That's like I go back to the beginning. Freedom comes with a price. Right now we're not free no more. Okay, we live under a system that we're enslaved under the system.
Well,
but if you wanna sign up for the military or not, that is your freedom decision. That's a decision that you're free to do so. Nobody has to take that freedom away from you. Not the government either. But like I say, if you got only 5,000 to enlist and you got 60,000 strong coming at you, of course, hey, a draft is it necessary? Wait, I understand that part. But if you got the people or the manpower to take on, why do they have to lose their freedom to decide if they want to sign up or not? Or why should they be called cowards? I personally, when Iraq invaded Kuwait, I fucking called the government. You know what? I'm ready. This is my name. Call me. Hey, Just send me a letter.
Talking about
I'll be right
the
there.
early 90s?
Yeah. I called the government. You know what? I'm ready. This is my name. So I said, okay, thank you, sir, for your
Desert
support.
Storm, brother.
I did it because I wanted to do it. Okay. There's a lot of balls and guts out there.
Yeah, but you see, you did it, Dad. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm pretty sure a lot of guys.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, a lot of people
and
did
that would put you in that category of people that would do it. But there's some people that just wouldn't do it just because, even if their life, even if their kids' life.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I have the freedom to decide if I want to go or not. Okay, I volunteer. You know what? This is my name. You know, I give them my address and everything. Send me a letter. You guys need me? I'm ready.
But that's what I'm also telling you though. Like, yeah, you do have the freedom to do that. Just like the person that he knows he can go and fight, but he chooses not because he's scared. But he has the freedom to do it, okay?
Yeah, well, that's his free
and
choice.
if he chooses not to, he used up his freedom to do it, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, it really, he's gonna produce more those type of people. And that it goes back to your question when it's saying why are men?
That's where I come in. You know, that's where freedom comes in. You know, you're free to decide what you want to do with your life in this country. But now it's not that. You gotta live by the system. You gotta do what they tell you. You're not free anymore to decide.
But
you gotta go. It's like in a truck. Let's give an example. I mean, this is good. I mean, traffic laws. That's good. You know, lights turning green, red, yellow, and green. That's good. That's being organized. That is good.
That's what.
But pretty much that's what the same shit without that's what the way we live.
Yeah, but look,
you turn green, yellow, or red. If you have a red light, you can't cross over.
I never thought that I would ever say this, but I don't think freedom is really good. You know what I'm saying? And we've never been free. We've never really ever no human, not even the kings themselves were ever free. Because at the end of the day, the smith, he had to do his job. The blacksmith had to do his job. The guy that worked the fields had to work the field. Most of the royals didn't even want to be involved in leading the kingdoms, but they had to. They were forced to. Nobody's ever been free. And it makes sense to me now why nothing is really ever free, because at the end of the day, even us then, we're never going to be free. Even when Jesus comes, we're never going to be free because there's always going to be rules implemented on us then. And that is okay though, you know what I'm saying? Because if we were really 100% the things that are really 100% free in this planet are the animals. Because they don't go by their own rules. But animals don't last that long, Dad. They either get eaten up by another animal because they roam wherever the hell they want to roam in the wilderness. There's no rules for animals. That's why the animal life is very dangerous. Because they don't have rules. They don't implement rules for themselves to say, we shouldn't fly out in the open because there's a fucking hawk and takes us. They don't have rules, Dad. Animals don't have rules. If we don't have rules, if we're 100% free, we're just gonna end up cutting our own throats. Why? Because we decide this is our property, right? They decide that's their property, but one day this person's gonna want a bigger property, and he has the freedom to want to expand his property. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he wants, and that's gonna lead a confrontation between us and them. But that's why we have the government to put laws for us. It goes back to that we can never ever be free. We're always gonna have to follow the rules and laws, and that's fine because we were made to follow rules. Now I know that we were made to follow rules.
Right.
Because if the type of freedom that us Americans want if we live by that type of freedom, well, nobody tells us what to do. Do you think it's going to be pretty hard for us to live in the kingdom of God, like God says, It's going to be pretty hard. Because we're so used to doing whatever we want. But for us to follow rules, Dad, we were meant to follow rules, Dad. And now I see that. And I never thought that I would be the type of person to say that. Because I've always been pro-American growing up. But then I learned history. Not by purposely, I found it because our lineage and stuff like that. I had to learn history to understand my family. But when I learned that history, I realized that, wow, we've really gone from from here to here.
Alrighty, guys, time to wrap it up. We're going in an hour 20. Wait, no, 120
Is that a
minutes.
record?
No, fuck. What are we on? 120? No, an hour and 20 minutes.
What was the most?
I think this. So to wrap it up, guys, I gave up on the government.
I gave up.
I go for them to bring back the monarchies, man. That's when humans live the best.
What about you, Edgar?
I like to say that I gave up on the government too, but I know there's somebody that's gonna have that heart that's gonna fucking bring everything together.
Oh, let me just say this one quote, dude. Let me say this one quote. This he was a prince, right? He said, a lot of people talk shit about how a king was cruel back in the day, but is it really better now than back in the days? If we had a cruel king back in the days, there's only so much he can eat off the people. But nowadays we have up to 200 kings because we have a president, we have a vice president, we have a prime minister, we have so many fucking senators, so many House of Representatives, and they're all like kings and they all want to eat. And that's more eating from the people. That shit makes sense to me.
To close this, all I gotta say is, Bernie, what happened? Why did you go? Why, Bernie? Why?
Because you didn't vote for him.
You should have been the Democrat presidential candidate.
Did you vote, Ernie?
No.
All right, then. That's what happened to Bernie.
But what happened to Bernie?
I think
You didn't vote, Ernie.
Dad, I think he's teaming up with Hillary.
And I'm not gonna vote. And the hell with voting. Now, you
People
know,
are mad because he's teaming
this
up with
is all
Hillary.
it's all a circus. It's all a circus these days.
I saw a meme and shit. It's like Bernie's
the
face,
hell
and he
with-
said, like, sorry guys, no
Let-
refunds and
Hey,
shit.
let anybody be president of the United States from now on. Shit, hey.
Alrighty, guys.
care.
Have a good night.